The Compas are on the road again, and we made it to Arizona, Glendale, Arizona to be exact. Yesterday we were with the Raiders. Today here with the Cardinals. Victor, we made it. It's been a grind. We woke up pretty early, 6 a.m.
Yes.
And then I was told I get to talk to the GM, Monti Ossenfort, the coach, Jonathan Gannon. So it was a good day, but it was like, okay, get down here to Glendale, Arizona,
Yes.
State Farm Field, a beautiful little field here. I shouldn't say
Yeah.
little, it was a massive field, by the way. But to get down here, were you kind of pressed for time? Were you panicking? Were you okay?
No, I'm just glad we have two mics this time. Yesterday we only had one, so at least we're upgrading. We got two mics today, but we were indoors, so and we got to see a padded practice, so that was pretty cool to see. And they have a good establishment here with the Cardinals.
Yeah, we're improving. I got the bigger mic here, got the smaller one. That wasn't intentional,
Yeah.
Victor. But
Yes.
maybe next time for the next stop we'll have two big mics. I don't know, but at least we're improving, and that's the key here for the Cardinals. A lot of people are not counting on the Cardinals to win a lot of games, but don't ask the guys here. Jonathan Gannon said he couldn't care less about the outside noise. Monti Ossenfort was worried about this year. A lot of people are talking about the draft in 2024 because he has an extra first-round pick, courtesy of the trades he made in 2023. And speaking about first-round picks, Paris Johnson Jr. stood out to me,
Yes.
doing pretty well. But for you, Victor, before we kind of get into a more specific thing, was there something that really stood out to you here in Arizona?
Yeah, coming in, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what we were gonna see. We get here and they're going through pads, so that was pretty cool, like as we talked about earlier. But I think the quarterback, Clayton Tune, he was getting first team reps, and so that was pretty good to see. And they're going at it with Cole McCoy, so we'll see who's a starter come week one.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that out, Victor, because our boy Jose Romero, a compa from the Arizona Republic,
Yes.
he said, you know what, check out the number 15, the rookie there, the quarterback, just to see what he's up to, because there is, maybe a little like, is it rumors, is it like just talk
Yes.
that him and Cole McCoy are probably neck and neck for the starting job. So when I heard that, oh, you would think the veteran would take the job there. So Clayton Tune being a fifth-round rookie from Houston, you would think, he wouldn't have the advantage over seasoned vet like Cole McCoy. But out here, we saw it. In the first, there was like a first team rep, and sometimes you kind of mix it in the second team and the third team. You play with the first team, but it's a third team defense. There was a point here today in Glendale, Arizona, where they had full team drills in pads. He was running the first team offense against the first team defense. Buda Baker was out there, so that's when I knew it was a first team defense. I know there's a lot to kind of take in one day, but just being in that setting for Clayton Tune, what do you think that meant for him?
No, that's huge. Especially right now without Kyler Murray, trying to see what they can do, what they can build on. We got to listen to both Jonathan Gannon, the head coach, and the GM, and they both talked about now. They're not talking about the future. They're looking for the best 53-man team that they can build right now for this season, and they're not thinking about tanking. They're thinking about the guys that they have on this team. So that was pretty good to see. Where they're at. As we got the first session of in pads.
Yeah, it's not easy to kind of, block the outside noise. It's not easy trying to like learn a new system, a first-year head coach and Jonathan Gannon, a new GM and Monti Ossenfort. Like, you don't know how he operates. Like, will he cut you when you break a rule? Will it be kind of more lenient? Like, they don't know how he operates. So everything's very new here. And then your quarterback, Kyler Murray's not even here. So that really adds to everything. But, they're not really pressing because they talk about tanking, right? But when you are a first-year head coach and a first-year GM, you got to win. You got to establish some kind of, system here because for the future, you could be gone by next year. So is that something you think they could hold on to for 2023 before 2024?
Yeah, because you got to start somewhere when you're building something good, and they have guys that they can build off of. As you talked about with Buda Baker, you talked about Connor. There's a lot of guys here that you can build around. So and you have a good start with those two guys. I thought that was pretty impressive, and I thought one of the things that really stood out as well is some of the new rules that they brought in. I guess some of the players are being held more accountable, and they're having to go through a harder training camp. So I thought that was something that kind of stood out.
Yes, it's all an adjustment, and you got to figure out, what can you do, what can you not. And for first-year head coaches, sometimes that could be an issue, like learning the rules and stuff like that. But I don't know if that's an issue here, but, anything is a positive. You keep moving forward. But it is, a tough, situation when you lose DeAndre Hopkins. Buda Baker was talking about being traded. Kyler Murray's walking around here, but he's not playing. So I think overall it's going to be a tough year. But again, I mentioned those rookies to begin with: Clayton Tune, Paris Johnson Jr., Michael Wilson. So there is something there to hold on and move forward. Because sometimes when you know it could be a little rough, that's what you look forward to as a youth, right?
Yeah, and it's exactly what you just said. I thought, just going through everything, they look pretty prepared. I know. We were yesterday. We were at Raiders practice, and they were still not in pads. But just seeing what they went through today here with pads, they look like they were well organized. I don't know how it was before here with the Cardinals. I know there's been some things being said about the past administration here. So at least from the first look, I don't know how they're going to do this season, but they look prepared.
Yeah, Victor, we'll end it here because I think they're done cutting the grass here at State Farm Stadium. So that might mean we have to go. You might hear the noise in the background. I don't know.
Yes.
But we can end it here because, we saw Kyler Murray. We saw Jonathan Gannon. We spoke to Monti Ossenfort. There was a lot here to soak in
Yes.
and check out the channel for all the content on our training camp tour.